Okay, Randy back again. Just gonna show y'all where I'm at. Since the last video, I put the angles in, got them welded in place on both sides. Worked out pretty good. I got this side, I had to cut this portion back up to here. Had to cut it back loose. It was just in the wrong position. This piece I made, I had to pull it this way toward the frame a little bit and then re-weld it. It wasn't no big deal. But I've got these panels here pretty close to where they're going to be. They'll push down a little bit whenever I weld them in place. And they come up a little short here on both sides. But that's about where they're going to sit. And the seat riser, I went ahead and took these corner pieces, the end caps that they sent, and I screwed them on so they'd be in place. Because whenever I put the seat riser in, I want the seat riser, these plates here, to set flat on this mount right here. But a problem I'm running into now, I can't just sit these up there because this angle is in the way, kind of holding me off. It needs to be bent down. And this, whenever I put it up in place, or about where it's going to go, the angle fills the void, the gap there between the two pieces on both sides. But I think I'm gonna wind up with a gap right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this angle. I'm gonna trim it back, maybe back to about a 1/2 inch right here, on down to about here somewhere, and cut it off and move it out of the way so that I can bend it down, get this sitting flat on this mounting point here on the frame, get this piece slid up under this piece where it's supposed to go, get it all in position. Then I can see if I'm gonna have a gap right here or not. If I do have a gap, then I'll either add to this piece down to this seat riser cap, or vice versa. I'll fill it in and go from there. But that's my plan right now. I'll go ahead and trim this piece off. Then I'll come back and show y'all how it fits, and see what I'm going to have to do with a gap if I have one. All right, be back in a minute. Okay, I got that angle trimmed up under there so that it won't hit the brace, and I knocked it down to where it would be flat this way so that this would sit up on top of it and sit on the mount too. And I think what I've come up with is I'm probably gonna have a gap in there, maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. But what I'm looking at is trying to have this seat riser sitting down here on the flat portion of the frame. I don't know why they didn't make this a little bit longer, you know, to come on down here. It's not like it's going to interfere with anything back here. But my reasoning for that is I just want this panel to sit flat along here, and because of this, the tunnel and everything, it'll just work out a whole lot better rather than having the floor pan come from here and come up off the frame, because of body mounts. You know, you're gonna be putting rubber in between there. And anyway, I think what I'll do now is go ahead, now that I got this trimmed, I got this up in here, you can kind of see where it goes. is just start at the back, and I'll go ahead and put these floor pans in and weld them in. And you know, as I put them in, I got to push down, you know, and weld, push down and weld, push down and weld, and that'll cause this one to cause both of them to come forward a little bit. So that'll close up the gap some in there, but not a big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these angles off right here at the front of the wheelhouse and do both sides. And they sent these plates here, and they don't show a lot of detail on where they mean for this to go, or they call it a seat riser extension. Now that, to me, that could be anything, unless they want it to go down here after you get the seat riser in to meet up with the quarter patch or whatever. But I'm just looking at it, trying to figure it out, and I guess do it my way. Of course, I want to do a good job and want it to turn out right, so just taking my time, and I'll get these two drilled. I'll start welding them in, and then I'll come back and give you all another update where I'm at. Be back in a minute. All right, I got both these panels drilled and deburred. I decided to take both panels out of the car and lay them on this table and put them together and weld the two panels together out here. That way I'll have better control of it, because you know, welding on top and putting that heat up here will cause it to draw and warp, and I can start in the middle here and then pull down on the sides and kind of maybe control that a little better and not have so much you know, dip in it. I'd like to have it flat. But anyway, thought I'd come back and show you all that, and then after I get this welded together, I can set both panels in there, line it up across the back here with the other panel, and weld it in. You know, I marked it where it needed to be so I could put it back together, and you know, it's maybe 1/8 of an inch there and maybe 1/8 of an inch over here, but you know, you just get them fitted the best you can, and you got to go with it, because ain't nothing perfect on these cars. But anyway, I thought I'd come back and show you all that. I'll get this welded together, and we'll go on to the seat riser, try to get it located and welded in. All right, see y'all in a little while. Okay, I'm back. Got these two panels welded together. Took a hammer and dolly and hammered the welds to kind of put a crown back in it on the top side here. I got it in here, and I went ahead and used sheet metal screws to hold it in place on both sides. About every 3 or 4 holes I put one in there. On these right here, I had to drill the hole and then cut the shank or the drill portion, the drill bit part, off because it's so close to the frame in here, the angle is. So drill the hole, then I took the screw and cut the little drill bit part off and just ran it down in there to hold that. Had to do a couple of them right along there where it was close to the frame, but it's fitting pretty good. I gotta get up under it, and where they join here, when I put them in, I'm gonna have to get up under here and do a little hammering, you know, take a drift and hammer and make sure that's tight. Those gaps, I don't want the gaps in it, you know, whenever I weld it. So I'll get up under there and hammer that out. But this seam here looks pretty good. The one I welded 2 panels together. On the inside, I stuck the seat riser in there, and everything fits good with it. It's gonna have that little gap on each side, but they ain't no big deal. I'll just take a little piece and put it in there, fill that gap, and I'm going to take that seat riser back out and weld these caps on each end, weld them in. And this seat riser on the back side of this lip here, it's got a little turn down on it, I guess for strength and support. That thing got a little stretch, so it's got a little bow in it. I might have to go to the shrinker and shrink it up a little bit, you know, so it won't have that dip in it. I'd rather have it crowned on the top side, because anytime you weld it, you know, on that thin metal like that, it draws it, and it'll put a dip in that metal if you ain't careful. But anyway, I thought I'd come back and tell y'all where I'm at, and we'll get busy and try to start welding this thing in, get all the where they join back there, get that pretty tight, and get it welded in, and then I'll come back and we'll work on this seat riser, getting it in there and getting it welded in. But that's where I'm at. I'll get busy with this, and I'll see y'all in a little while. All right, I'm back. Got this these 2 panels welded in all the way down the sides, both sides. Everything fit good. And one thing I forgot to mention is whenever I weld this in across here, I put my jack up under there and put a little arch in it and welded it, and then whenever I let the pressure off, it come out pretty flush. Actually got a little crown in it to the top, which is always good. Then I've got all this welded up here all the way down both sides. So now do that seat riser, get the caps welded on it, then I'll put it in. But it's coming right along. All right, well, if you would like, comment, subscribe, and appreciate y'all watching. Maybe this will help somebody. I'm gonna try to start posting a few more videos sooner, working on this a lot more. So appreciate y'all watching. See you next time.